Hey y'all. Happy Monday. It's me, Kaylee Nix, your head of content here at Firecrown FreightWaves. And you're probably like, Kaylee, what the heck are you doing on the What the Truck set? Why is everything green behind you? And also, didn't you just introduce Malcolm Harris as the host of What the Truck? And you're clearly not Malcolm Harris. So why are you sitting on this desk? Well, I'm super excited that yes, it is in fact Malcolm Harris's very first day here on the What the Truck set with us. We are so pumped to have him here in the building. We've got a really great episode of What the Truck on the way for you because it's the start of an era. We are in our Reputation era, if you're a Taylor fan. If you look behind us and you see the green, no snakes, no black jumpsuit, no look what you made me do, but it's a brand new era here at What the Truck here at FreightWaves. We're so excited to kick it off and get it started. Before we do that, though, we've got the man here in the building. We're going to introduce him. We're going to hear little bit about his life story and get to learn about just who Malcolm Harris is. Before we get there, though, we got to say thank you to our sponsor. Shout out to Verizon. Let's roll the tape.
Big.
Small.
Essential.
Big. Small. Essential. Big.
Small.
Essential.
Grande.
Pequeño.
Esencial. No matter what business you're in, Verizon Business has the network and solutions you need to power it.
From the facility to the fleet, Verizon Business gives you real-time visibility into your supply chain so you can keep on trucking ahead of demand and the competition. Learn more at verizon.com/distribution. Thank you to Verizon for being our loyal sponsor. And let's dig right into it. The man, the myth, the legend, the Knoxville nomad, the Chattanooga return of the one, the only Malcolm Harris.
What is up?
When I tell you just the joy that I have in my heart right now to have you on this set with me, I can't even explain it.
This is a surreal moment, and I just want to thank you, like, from the bottom of my heart. I know we just talked about it prior to me coming on set, but like this means everything to me. Like, it really does.
So the crew here at FreightWaves, it's been a journey for us. Obviously, we started with the truck back in the early days of FreightWaves. You had Chad Prevost and JP Hampstead on here. We had Tim Dooner on here, who grew the show just incredibly. And now we're moving into this era with you. I gotta know, what is the Malcolm Harris era like? One word to describe who you are, what you do. What is that era? What is this era gonna entail?
Just if I had to give you one word,
Yeah, just one.
enthusiasm.
Okay,
That's what
I
I
love it.
bring. That's what I bring. I just bring enthusiasm. I bring authenticity. I would say would be the word too. It's like, I'm not gonna be like the super, based off of artificial intelligence. Like, that's not your guy. Like, I'm just not gonna be that person. I'm gonna be informative. I'm gonna be myself. But I'm also just gonna have some fun with it. Like, this is gonna be a fun show, and it's gonna be a great time for everybody.
So we've got to rewind
Yeah.
and get a little bit back into this, because if you've been around the logistics space, if you're familiar with the Chattanooga space, if you know anything about recruiting and retention in logistics, you've probably met this guy before, or you've seen him at an event, or you've listened to his voice, not just on this platform, but across other platforms. I've heard you on the radio.
Yes.
They've seen you at Neyland Stadium.
Yes.
Who is Malcolm Harris? Who are you?
I am a guy from Conyers, Georgia. Went to the University of Tennessee up in Knoxville. I'm a guy that loves my family. I love my friends, my podcast. I'm a sports guy. I just love just to be around the people that mean the most to me. And I love people. Like I said, like I've done a lot in logistics when it comes to recruiting. My start really happened at Coyote. That's where this all kind of got kicked off. I got into the industry about 10 years ago, and I was a domestic broker, and it was a hilarious time of my life.
So it's funny that we decided to go with green for the set here, which again, you guys can probably tell, right? We've got the graphics, we've got the set behind us. You're in the green there, that picture in Coyote. This is like a pullback from the archives.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about your time in brokerage. It feels like where everybody starts in logistics here in Chattanooga. I'm the exception, was not in brokerage here, and also never worked at Coyote. But talk to us a little bit about that time. That's kind of one of like the founding pillars of the logistics industry here in the city.
No, it is. And I think my time at Coyote, it taught me really how to be a professional, right, Kaylee? Like, it taught me how to be somebody who was able to, build a book of business. I wouldn't be where I'm at today, again, without this is a guy named Clay Hicks. He really taught me a lot. Shane Meyer, Sean McCool. I mean, there's so many different folks that, during my time time at Coyote that really taught me, all right, this is how I'm supposed to do things. And Cole France is another guy too that I was able just to learn a lot from. And I was able to operate. I was on the customer side of the business, so talking to customers and clients, also dealing with truck drivers on a daily basis and building rapport. And it was awesome for me. I really enjoyed my time at Coyote.
The brokerage space is one of those places that can be a really good jumping off position for a lot of
Yeah,
us in the industry. It can, everybody likes to talk about the challenges and how brokerage is sometimes where careers go to die, right? It's
for
like
sure.
you're a broker and you burn yourself out, or you find yourself moving into upper middle level management, and then you live there, and then you eventually start a freight tech company that starts a podcast, that starts a YouTube channel, and it just like snowballs from there. And then you become a freight influencer, right? That's kind of the track that you're on. I don't know.
I guess. I mean, no, this is all random. When I tell you, like, this is one in a million. Like, I've beat the games. What they say, it's like literally like I came from an entry level rep
Yeah.
to now like to being here on this set. It's a surreal feeling for sure, and I'm really grateful.
So, difference between cold calling and podcasting.
Yeah.
Are two skill sets that have the same type of vibe to them, or is one harder than the other?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think cold calling might be easier than podcasting because cold calling, you have a roadmap.
Okay.
Whereas in podcasting, like you have a roadmap, but you can really get lost and go into like these different types of pockets. Whereas a cold call, you stay within that like actual map that you can, go and, make decisions and find the end result, which is ultimately land in business.
If you're a good cold caller,
If you're a good cold caller.
it's a big if.
Sometimes, I talk to people all the time, like, were you a good broker? And I said, you know what? I was efficient. I was not the best broker. And I'll tell everybody that. And I think because, where my heart was ultimately on the people side of the business. Like at Coyote, I tried to be a recruiter at Coyote, Kaylee, 3 times.
Okay.
And for some odd reason, I wasn't able to get the nod.
We're just like your margins way up there, and they were like, we can't afford
No, they were way down here, and they're like, "Hey, buddy, this might not be
this might not be for you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but
It's hard to get that nod in freight too.
it is because you gotta be well put together, and you gotta be on it and show like a track record of success. But it did work out for me. It did.
So let's continue to talk about the career progression, because
Yeah.
obviously Coyote has grown into this big powerhouse
Oh yeah.
logistics name. But you made a jump. Were you traded up, or did you make the choice?
So
Under free agency.
I entered free agency. I left Coyote, and then from there, I went and got this recruiter job at Cellular Sales. Believe it or not, it's a
Okay.
company in Knoxville, and they.
Hence the Knoxville nomad.
Yeah, that's the
Like,
Knoxville Nomad. I've
Knoxville
been
nomad.
back up and down 75 for the majority of my life, but I promise you, I will be done. So get there. Unfortunately, it just did not work out for me, but I loved my time recruiting. And then I had a buddy of mine, his name was Cole France, and he called me and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Man, believe it or not, I'm actually working at a FedEx right now.
Okay.
I'm working at a FedEx, and I'm also doing radio." So there's this it's called Fox Sports Knoxville.
Yeah.
And it was my first radio gig. I did it for free. Literally, they could not pay me. My mom was like, "You're moving home to Atlanta." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm gonna go chase this dream because this
Yeah.
is this is what I want to do." Cole was like, "Hey, I need you to come down. I have this opportunity at Steam Logistics, and it's not in recruiting, but you could be a broker. Let's do it." And I was like, "You know what, Cole, I believe in you. I believe in this. Let's do it." So that's how I got to Steam, and I worked on the Cole France and Jason Bravancha and everybody at Steam Logistics.
So let's go back to that radio gig in Knoxville.
Yeah.
Because something that people don't understand about the broadcast space is that you cut your teeth for free a
For
lot
free.
of times, right? So look at this picture up here, overtime up there at Fox Sports in Knoxville. Little Malcolm right there. What would he tell Malcolm sitting right here right now?
He would say, "You know what, buddy, you did a hell of a job. Like
Yeah.
you really, we're proud of you." Because that kid right there, I'm telling you, I was exhausted right there. I literally just came from a shift at FedEx, a 12-hour. I was tired, but like being able just to push myself forward and seeing like the vision I had for myself, like I knew, one day like I would be undeniable.
Absolutely. And this intersection of freight and media, I think, is incredibly unique, right? Obviously, at FreightWaves, we're really uniquely positioned to have this type of massive
For
platform.
sure.
And one of my goals as the head of content here is to elevate these voices like yours who have wanted to be in the industry for years,
Yeah.
who I know what it takes to, make $23,000 at a dream that I thought was my gig
Yeah.
and not be able to pay rent and afford to eat. Like I know what that takes. So being able to elevate the voices like yours into the space, I think is one of like my big goals. So I'm very excited to have you here to be able to do that. And the notice that you got at Steam, right? That was where you kind of started to build your image in the freight space in
Yeah.
particular. That was where I first met you, was
For
when you were
sure.
working at Steam. And I was like, this guy knows what he's doing. And that was before the gongs.
That was before the gongs. That was before everything. I mean, my time at Steam, I mean, that's the longest I've ever held a position. It was like a little under 4 years. And I mean, it went from literally 30 people to, I mean, by the time I left, I mean, it was like, what, 750, 800. I
Yeah.
mean, all time it was like 850. And, I couldn't have did it without the wonderful team. I mean, we've talked about it all the time, but Morgan McDermott was
Mhm.
that and is that girl. Like
I'm glad that you
she
brought her up because she's one of those people that we've had on the pod a lot. She's been across the FreightWaves ecosystem. You asked the question, where in the world is Morgan McDermott? Because literally you don't know ever.
You don't know.
But she's one of those voices that has this just incredible experience and wisdom
Yeah,
about the freight space on the recruiting side in particular. She's one of those people that needs her voice elevated all the time.
100%. And she again, authentic, just her, she is just amazing.
Mhm.
And like my success like literally could not have happened without Morgan. Like I was dying. Like it was a lot. I mean, COVID, I mean, we were running
Yeah.
just rapidly. Like it was a lot of onboarding. I mean, literally a lot of people don't even know like I used to do like IT stuff for Steam. Like that's crazy to like set up computers and to onboard folks and
Yeah.
to like do the whole nine. But I mean, it was worth it. Like I just cared and I still care. Like that passion, that I had there is following me right here, right now. So
So you weren't necessarily an incumbent in the logistics industry when you
no,
started at Steam.
no,
You mentioned, you're a broadcaster at heart, you're a
yeah,
journalism major, you came up in that space, but naturally you kind of found yourself falling into logistics.
hmm
And we joke about it all the time in the industry. This is the industry that nobody ever chooses.
no,
It grabs you and then you stick.
yeah.
What was the point? Was it working at Steam or was it before that where you were like, no, like this is where my heart sits. This is where I know I can make an impact.
It was at Steam
Yeah.
that I would say 100%. I was like, you know what? Like I'm gonna see this through to the very, very end. And the industry had pulled me to to it and I stayed in it. Just I was so fascinated by, at the time in COVID, I'm like, guys, like people's lives are changing as we know it.
Mhm.
There's a buddy of mine that used to work with me. Like I saw him like pay off a car cash. I saw him do all these ridiculous and fun things for his family. And I'm just like, man, like I want a piece of that. And I was able to benefit from that time and still benefiting from that time to this day for what it's done for me. So
We watched the building being built. Steam
yeah,
Logistics, for those of you guys who've never been to Chattanooga, is directly catty corner from FreightWaves. Like if we could go on the roof up here, I could probably throw a rock
you
and hit the
could
window over
easy,
and see.
easy.
We saw the building being built, and all of us for the longest time were like, man, like how impactful is Steam Logistics going to be to Freight Alley? Not just to, the business and the coverage that we do at FreightWaves, but to the Chattanooga ecosystem of logistics as a whole. And the logistics industry here in Chattanooga employs it's somewhere between like 10 and 12%
Yeah,
of people in Chattanooga are employed in some type of logistics
for
job.
sure.
That's why we call it Freight Alley. It literally is the lifeblood of this area, not just because we see so much East Coast freight move through here at the intersection of 7524, but because of this lifeblood that it actually brings to our economy. Talk to me a little bit about that and how recruiting and seeing that talent growth and seeing the industry growth in this space really impacted your love for logistics.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at all the different types of people that are in the area, right? That are coming from different areas, whether it's Atlanta, whether it's Nashville, Memphis, Birmingham, Huntsville, so on and so forth. And, just having all these people. And for me at that time, we had demand, right?
Mhm.
Like we had all these shippers that are needing to get product moved from point A to point B. And I'm just like, all right, like we need some people, but we need some
Mhm.
quality, like reputable people that I could trust to speak in front of decision makers. So I was going anywhere and everywhere, whether it was gyms, whether it's churches, whether I mean, like literally, like I was
Yeah,
going
you were out and about.
and everywhere to get it done. I mean, me and the entire team, and it was it was a sight. It was really, honestly, it could be a documentary one day. And I think that when it comes to Freight Alley, I mean, you said it yourself. If you say, for example, we're at Publix in North Shore, and you pulled 10 people to the side, I guarantee you 3 out of those 10 work in logistics.
In some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and it just is because of just the overall dynamic, and it's a cool city, and it means, like I said, so much to just be back and kind of just in my element again.
So, the last thing I want to ask you about Steam is
Yeah.
obviously they kind of saw this popular rise into, I almost want to call it like, not necessarily mainstream media, but into almost like a viral sensation. And you
Mhm.
were there for some of
I
that. The
was.
gongs was one thing. We had Steve Cox, of course, start his fight against non-competes, which I think is really important
Hey,
in
and
the brokerage space.
noncompetes.com for
It's
sure.
but that was one of those things that really kind of catapulted Steam up into not just a freight brokerage. It
Yeah.
almost, like make brokerage cool.
Yeah,
I don't really know, but that was one of those things where it was like, okay, there's more to this industry than just picking up the phone and cold calling. You built a
definitely.
culture and you built something that was really recognizable in that building. How did that impact kind of how you approach your career going forward now, and combining that media experience, combining now the brokerage experience, the freight experience? What was it like playing a role in that kind of rise to recognition of Steam Logistics?
I mean, it's like I saw it that way,
Yeah.
Kaylee, but honestly, I just tried to just help.
Yeah.
And I know how cliche that really sounds, but like I didn't see it as just like, oh man, I'm that guy, like that rise to fame. And it's I just saw it as like, hey, like, this guy, Jason Bravancha, really trusts me
Mhm.
with like, his brand. Like he trusts me with all this Steve Cox, Adam Shear, Brittany Payne, like all these people really care and they're all in on me. So I need to be all in on them. And just I think I had a great rapport with everybody because I was everybody. Like I started at the bottom. You
Yeah.
could pull a profit report right now from 2019, and you're gonna see some
Malcolm's at the
stuff that's
very bottom.
crazy. And you're gonna be like, yo, how did he make it? Like there is just no way. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I to this day don't know, but I tried really hard. I showed everybody love, whether it was Lisa at the front desk or whether it was Jason or whether it was, a board of director member. I mean, anybody. Like I really cared and I wanted to put on for Steam and they put on for me. And I'm forever thankful and forever grateful for what they did.
Hey, boys in the back, the little lower third on the bottom, change it to say Malcolm Harris, that guy underneath it. Malcolm Harris, that guy. I'm putting it on the record right now.
Oh man, no, I appreciate them. I appreciate you, and no, seriously, without Steam, I don't even think I would be here. I mean, I've had so much exposure, learned a lot of concepts, whether it was international
They got
drayage,
it. Look at that. They did it. Malcolm Harris, that guy.
whether it was just anything. Like I got so much from them, and I'm just appreciative of it.
So next steps takes you back up 75
Yeah,
again. You
yeah.
head to
I had
Knoxville.
to
You're
Knoxville.
at Axel Logistics.
I am.
Talk to me a little bit about that change and when we knew it was time to take that next step forward.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my time at Axel was amazing. The thing with Axel that people just don't understand is how quality of an organization it truly is. And I think that had it not been for an opportunity like this, like I never would have left in the
Yeah.
first place. Like it truly was best in class. The entire leadership team, the development team specifically. What was really hard about my role at Steam is that yes, we had a team, but it's just the different swim lanes. Like I was wearing a lot of hats.
Right.
Whereas at Axel, everybody just has their own individual hat. And there's just a lot of, I just want to say, just defined responsibilities.
Mhm.
So going up there was a decision I made. I actually was at a company, it was an international freight forwarder, and I was their head of HR.
Okay.
And this came on my radar, and I was just like, all right, like, you guys want me to lead recruiting at a top 25 brokerage in the country in my own backyard in Knoxville, Tennessee. This is what you're asking me to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is like the best thing. Yes, let's do it. So I actually, believe it or not, drove from Chattanooga to Knoxville every single day for about 6 months.
Did they pay for your gas?
They compensated me, not for the gas,
Okay,
but like
okay.
we're good.
Okay.
We are
We're
fine.
square.
We are fair and square. But no, like I would stay here like once a week. There's an operation for Axel on Cherry Street, believe
Right.
it or not, and I would see that team sometimes. But no, I learned so much about myself. about perseverance. I learned about just really being a team first guy
Mhm.
too. I think that in my role and in my career, rather, I've done a lot of individual contributor work.
Yeah.
And for the first time ever, I truly had to be a teammate,
Yeah.
like a real team first guy. Like, hey, this is bigger than you. It's about the team. And I learned a lot and I grew from it. And, I think they're going to have a great career fair season. I want to give a shout out to Hunter, Emma, of course, Sarah, Grayson, Allie, Haley, Frank, everybody. I mean, and if I missed you, I'm so sorry. I just, don't want to spend too much time on it, but I'm just thankful for that opportunity.
That's an interesting perspective because a lot of times I feel like brokerage is one of those spaces where it is so hyper competitive
Yeah.
that you don't have that team aspect and you kind of lose it, right? If you're sitting on the floor and you're over at Steam Logistics and Billy over here gets 8 gong rings and you only have one, like that puts a lot of hyper competition and sometimes you can kind of lose the bigger picture, right? And forget that it's a team sport at the end of the day.
Yeah.
How do you think that, the future of the logistics space, the future of brokerage, the future of the freight industry depends on that type of teamwork?
I think it's absolutely pivotal to have that aspect. If it's me, I mean, I think that, even in environments right now that you see gamification is happening
Yeah,
before our very eyes, right? So making these things like, hey, like we know the job is really tough. Being a broker is one of the hardest jobs in America, but
agreed.
actually making it a game out of it and showing metrics and showing progressions over the day, over the week, month, so on and so forth. Like it really is not to put anybody down, but it's also attacked for motivation and it's for, hey, like if you're not performing this way, you should probably ask the person who we can all see is doing, what are you doing to get this to
Mm,
work?
mhm.
And that's all it is. But no, I love the competitive atmosphere of it. I'm a competitor by trade. Like I hate to lose. You can ask my mom. Like I used to flip over Monopoly board tables
I'm out of
all the
that.
time. Like
Done.
yeah, I couldn't stand to lose.
Yeah,
Still can.
that's well, I mean, me either. I get that. I get that. You gotta protect the peace a little bit and
Yeah.
let some take some battles happen. And last thing I want to talk about when it comes to brokerage and the recruiting space with you is kind of the future of what the industry looks like. Obviously, you're out of the recruiting role
I
now, but
am.
I don't know. We might have you start recruiting for FreightWaves and What the Truck and some talent, and we'll
Listen.
see how it goes. But the future of the industry, when it comes from a talent perspective, these up and coming folks who are entering the industry, sometimes brokerage can feel like an easy entry point, right?
Mhm.
We see some brokerages who are maybe not so great starting to prey on these young kids who come out of college and
Yeah,
they're like, I want an entry level sales job. I don't really know. You're going to make low margins. You're going to work crazy
you
hours.
are.
But at the same time, we see now this thirst and this need for really well developed sales talent. We're here in Chattanooga. UTC has a dedicated brokerage program,
Yeah, it's
again,
great.
feeding into Freight Alley. Talk to me just a little bit about your thoughts on what the future of talent in the industry looks like.
I think the future of talent, we're gonna have to bend to talent,
Mm,
meaning like we're going to have to make accommodations for the talent, whether it's, and I love the in-person model. Like
mhm.
I really do, when it comes to sales, like you need to have that in-person camaraderie. But when people got that taste of what life was like during COVID
Yeah,
and being at home and
changed everything.
doing some laundry and then hopping on a sales call and going on a walk with their dog and saving hundreds of dollars per week. Like that's something that people don't think about, like in terms of, all right, like, hey, like asking somebody to be physically somewhere 5 times a week
Mm,
is really hard in today's 2025.
yeah,
So I think that we're going to start seeing models bend a little bit more towards that. But then also there is a focus on return to work because all these buildings are sitting dormant
yeah.
and it's just like, all right, how do you balance that? So I think it's more so going to be a hybrid schedule leaning forward, but then also getting creative in terms of compensation. So being able to incentivize PTO
Yeah,
or flex days or just different things to accommodate individual salespeople's needs to get the best performers. Because retention is key right now.
right.
And if you're a great salesperson, you're always going to be looking for a bag. You're always going to be looking for something or somewhere that you can increase the ultimate thing that matters, which is your money. So these companies have to get really creative to retain those top earners.
So we're back in Chattanooga. You're
Yes, we
here with
are.
us. You're back to the roots.
Yeah.
Let's go and talk a little bit about the city specifically and what it means to you. We've talked a little bit about Freight Alley and how you were kind of brought up here from the freight perspective, but the city itself is a really special place to be.
Yeah.
We see that. You guys see it when you come here to visit us for the Future Freight Festival, which go get your tickets for. Gentle plug, live.freightwaves.com. It's at the end of October. You want to go get those tickets now before they sell out. But you guys see it when you come here, right? This is a
Yeah.
special place. It's a special town. Talk to me about coming back here and why we knew that it was why you knew it was the right move.
Gosh. I mean, how much time we got?
19 minutes and 53 seconds.
This was the right move because like my heart is here, right? Like I grew up in Atlanta, but obviously like I used to be here during the summers. You know, my mom used to drop me off, if you know, between Atlanta and Chattanooga, exit 306. It's two exits before the Bucky's that just happened. But she used to drop me off. My dad used to pick me up. And then he would spend the weekends here with him, and I've been a Georgia boy, and it's Georgia week.
Mhm.
But there's a saying that the real Georgia boys go to Tennessee.
And I was gonna say, you say you're a Georgia boy, but I think we have a picture that proves otherwise. Like in, let's pull it up there. That does not look like the face of a Georgia boy to me. I don't know. I don't know. Weigh in on social media here. Does that look like the
Oh
face of a Georgia boy to you?
man, that's a Georgia boy, but nah, that's a Tennessee boy through and through. Yeah, I grew up, you know, in Georgia, but Tennessee has always had my heart, and Chattanooga is just so important because of just what's happening, but also what's about to happen.
Mm.
You know, we see with new development, we see with things being strategically placed to make the city better. We just see just the energy and the atmosphere. People are moving here from all across the country, whether it's, you know, Cali or Texas, and it's a great time to be a Chattanoogan.
I agree with that. I moved here 8.5 years ago now and had zero intention of staying.
Yeah.
And now it's been 8.5 years, and I have a husband and two houses and a dog, and I'm like, I'm kind of stuck now,
No, no, no. Like
but like in the best way.
in the best way possible.
I couldn't leave here if I tried.
I literally, and I've told people this all the time, like, you know, Knoxville will always have a special spot in my
Yeah.
heart, right? I went to school there. I literally grew up and became like a man, I would say, in
Hmm.
Knoxville. But Chattanooga will forever have my soul, right?
I love that.
You know, like this is just like where my soul is like, all right, like, you know, literally every single time I drive to Chattanooga, whenever I get, you know, down the hill in Ottawa and see the Chattanooga, like
You
smile.
feel better.
Like I feel like I'm like, oh, like I'm home. Like,
Yeah.
all right, cool. Like it's just I can't describe it. It's different.
It's funny because I've actually never met somebody that has that same like reaction as I do. Right? Like you come around the bend and you're like, okay, it's good. Or
Yeah.
you go through the split and it's not just like the energy of getting off the split, but it's like, okay, I'm home. You
Yeah,
go through
yeah.
Ottawa and you're like, this is the right place. And
For
you settle into
sure.
the valley and
For
it's the
sure.
right place and you feel like you're home.
Absolutely.
Tennessee mountains, man.
It's
Can't let you go.
can't let me go.
Can't
And
let you go.
I'm here to stay. So
I love it. And this is your new home. We're on the set. We're here.
yeah.
Feels nice and firm. We're shaking things up. Let's talk a little bit about the show, about what the track, because it's an icon here at FreightWaves. It's
Yes.
been established now, like I said, in early 2017, and we've seen it grow through the last almost 10 years
Yeah.
of the entire company here. And the new reins, the new leadership, we've got kind of a new vision going forward.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about what that looks like from your perspective. Something that I've admired so much about you, and we've heard from your story today, is really building interest via community connection. And that's something that I want to really prioritize when it comes to content as a whole, right? We're not just
Yeah.
a news organization. We're not, here just to stir things up and to make things different. We want to build this type of really good, really in-depth community. That's where change happens in the
For
industry.
sure.
That's where we start to see things really come together. And I think that you've got a lot of talent to do that. Talk to me a little bit about what the truck is a show and kind of what you envision and what going forward looks like.
Yeah, so that's a great question, by the way. Whenever I was at Power 94, I had it was a director, his name was Keith Landecker,
Okay.
and he told me this very infamous saying. He was like, if you shine the light on others, that light will shine back on you
Hmm.
tenfold, right? So I think what I want to do is be able to just go and tell stories.
Okay.
Be a storyteller and go to different pockets, whether it's a truck driver and like sitting in an actual truck for 8 hours with a GoPro and being like, all right, like we are going to the Loves, center, or the, whatever type of, truck stop, and doing like a route, or, whether it's going to a warehouse distribution facility and going and, just doing and being and telling stories is super important to me, and different backgrounds and perspectives too, and being able just to be authentic and go to the source. And also, want to break news too. There's still, me being a journalism major, back in college and having such an interest, like I still want to be able to give breaking, details and updates for our listeners because they deserve that. But at the end of the day, authenticity, informative, and just to be real. That
Yeah.
is what I want for What the Truck and for all of our listeners.
There's a lot of conversation around the freight industry right now. There's a lot of topics. We're constantly moving. And I would say that arguably right now, the freight space is in the limelight really for the first time in as much intensity as it has been since COVID. We've got a lot of conversation, and very difficult conversation going on between immigration issues
Yeah.
and between English language proficiency mandates, and the fact that we have an administration in place now who's actively taking some of the very legitimate concerns about the freight industry very seriously for the first time. A lot of that conversation has been started by these grassroots efforts by the community that we're building. I'd be absolutely remiss without shouting out Gord and Super Trucker and Danielle on Twitter, because they're one of the people who brought together this just gigantic problem and put it in the forefront of some of our administration and our leadership. That's the type of power that platforms like this have.
Yeah.
And not to weigh things too heavy on your shoulders, that's the type of responsibility that you carry
Most
into a role
definitely.
like this, right? When you look at that responsibility and look at kind of what some of these bigger issues are, you ready? Are you that guy? Can you do it?
100%.
100%.
100%.
I love it.
And my thing is, if am I going to be perfect? No.
Yeah.
There's going to be a time, on this show that, yeah, I'm going to fail. 100%. I'm looking in this camera right now. Guys, I'm probably going to mess up. But also, I know that I'm going to get up every single time, every single day, and do my absolute best. I mean, this is what, to me, I was put on earth to do. I was having a conversation with my buddy Chase, Chase,
Yeah.
the other day, and I was telling him, I'm like, bro, like, I legit feel like, Lord forbid, if I passed away today, if something happened, I just went like, yo, I came to do what I had to do.
Yeah.
So like this is it. This is the moment. So, that, responsibility that you just described, like I'm gonna be ready for all that comes with it, because I know I was built to bring it.
Hmm.
So
I love it. That's the authenticity, right? And you heard it here first. Like, we're here, we're taking accountability for it. We're gonna do it. And you're in the brokerage space. We're not a forgiving crew in freight and logistics, but everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days.
Nah, everybody has those days. Everybody makes mistakes, but then also it's like, just continuing to get better and continuing just to tap into the community.
Yep.
So there's gonna be a lot of people, I've met over the years, that you're gonna get a phone call, text, or an email from me about, either yourself or a contact that you have that, there's a story to tell.
Totally.
And there's content to go after, and there's things to talk through, and I want that opportunity to do that, and I'm gonna have the opportunity to do that, and I couldn't be happier about it.
I'm really messed up by not taking a screenshot of your LinkedIn post with the announcement of this, because I think that was such an incredible reception. I gotta let you know, I got like 15 or 20 connection requests off of the tag that you put me
For
in.
real?
Yes, for real.
Oh, dang.
So like when we say Malcolm Harris, that guy underneath, like we mean it. Like
Uh,
that's the type of aura and the type of community that you're bringing already to the show, right? Is
Whoa.
is is this combination of experience and depth and connection in the industry that I think is really important and is going to serve you well on this platform. We obviously do a lot of coverage, like I said. What is something that you're really excited to talk about or cover from a topic perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to, really obviously the brokerage space. I
Mhm.
mean, and just uncover things that are happening here. But I want to get myself more familiar with things that I haven't been necessarily privy to, right? When it comes to trends, specifically in the market,
Yeah.
looking at technology innovations that are happening, whether it's with sonar technology or whether it's just with other platforms that are in the industry. I mean, that's something I'm really excited about. But then I really want to have a creative take on some different things and getting to the roots of what the truck, meaning going directly to truckers, right?
Hmm.
Going to people that are doing it, going to carriers specifically. There was a tweet the other day, and it was like, "Hey, this show's for truckers. I don't think you got the right guy."
Yeah.
And I was sitting there chuckling as I'm drinking a glass of wine at my house, and I'm just like, man, I want to have that guy on the show and show him that I'm the right guy. So
Okay.
whoever that was that tweeted that, holla at your boy. We're gonna get you right.
We'll
But
we'll find him.
yeah,
We'll find him and make that conversation. But that's I think is what's awesome about this
yeah,
platform, right? Is that we have that ability again, amplify that voice and let's bring it. Let's build this interest in this platform via community, via connection. Make it
definitely,
this like great positive space. Everybody's welcome here. Everybody's happy to share their
hundred
voice.
percent.
Let's do it.
I want this to be like the community for us, for
Yeah.
like logistics, for brokerage, for us. Like this is literally what I like to, I don't know about you, but there was a spot, I'm sure you had it at OU where you went to school, but there was a space called Down Under at
Hmm.
UT. And it was like a bowling alley and an arcade and stuff, and everybody used to just come kick it.
Yeah, my tuition dollars did not go to fund anything like that at the University of Oklahoma. I'm gonna say that.
Well, it went to athletics because you guys beat us in school.
Boomer.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I want this to be a fun, educational, and welcoming environment for everybody.
I love
So
it. I love it. Okay, so if you could dream up your dream segment, radio segment, podcast segment, video segment, what is your dream segment look like?
my dream segment, for those that know me, know that I'm an avid sports person.
Yeah.
Chatted Up Sports on all platforms. Got to throw it out there at Chatted Up. But what for me, and it's last year, Freight Caviar, they dropped an article, and it was about Cam Newton getting into the brokerage space.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was talking about it. I would love to sit and talk with Cam one-on-one about brokerage and about what he's seen as an athlete getting into this space and how other athletes, which have happened, have gotten into this space and
Mm-hmm.
what they've seen and how it compares to, the National Football League or the NBA, WNBA, so on and so forth. So just making kind of a cross collaboration between my two worlds. That is like my dream segment.
Cam Newton, if you're watching this, that would be really cool. Cam Newton, if you're watching this, hit us up. We want to bring you on the What the Truck Set.
Cam, if you're listening to this, man, there's a bald guy with a hoop earring in Chattanooga, Tennessee that's better at Madden than you and has fresher fits than you. I just want to let you know.
That's a challenge right
Yeah.
there. That's a challenge right there. But do you have the cool fedoras?
No, my head's a little big, man. I wear about a size 8 hat.
I mean, his hat game is pretty good.
It is. And I used to have dreads back in the day, and it's
Yeah.
just, I
It
could
just
afford it all.
adds to it.
Yeah.
Adds the volume.
It
of the
does
hat.
add. There's like a lot of mass going
Yeah,
on.
going on up there.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's an interesting topic too. Not to get too far off, is that we have seen a lot of athletes kind of venture into the freight space.
Yeah.
What makes an athlete apt to be in logistics? Is it just
Um,
tenacity? Is it teamwork?
it literally is the NFL to me.
Yeah.
Like it literally, when you talk about brokerage and the space, I mean, you have depth charts. Truly, like people know who your starters are. You know who your second string is. You know who the people who are probably going to get cut. Sometimes as a leadership crew, or in this case, a GM or like your upper coaching staff.
Yeah.
When you have to cut and make a 53 man. People in logistics are looking at their rosters and their personnel like 53 man's like, hey, Sally, Susie, and John, they're our bottom 2%. Let's get them up out of here.
Mhm.
We need to make room for the starters and
nothing
let's go
personal,
recruit.
just
Yeah,
business.
it's business. And I mean, overhead is the number one liability that I think you can have as a brokerage. And the number one thing in overhead is personnel and people.
Yeah.
So, it's just, I mean, they're literally spitting images of each other. I love just kind of comparing and contrasting the two. So
I think it's really fascinating to see, and we've had a couple of folks who were involved who were professional athletes and now have gotten to the freight space. We've
yeah,
platformed them a little bit. Those are some of the coolest stories I think to tell.
that's awesome. And I can't wait to tell them.
So let's wrap this up by talking a little bit more about sports,
Yeah,
because as you mentioned, that's kind of your lifeblood and your livelihood. This is not the
yeah,
only thing that you do. We had that subtle plug for Chatted Up Sports. Talk to me a little bit about that platform. It feeds in back into the broadcasting aspect, but it
yeah.
also feeds back into why you came to Chattanooga.
For sure. So I came to Chattanooga, again, what was that, 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 years ago. And I worked for ESPN Chattanooga. So it was me, my boy Greg Larnard, Chase Green, You see
Look at the boys in
Corey
the
Guerin
picture.
right there, my boy Garrett Solly as well. He wasn't in the photo, but yeah, we were there and did our thing. And then from there, the station unfortunately sold. So we were like, man, what are we going to do? So the 5 of us got together and we ended up starting our own thing called Chatted Up Sports. And it's been around a little under 2 years. We started Super Bowl Sunday, not of this last year, but the year before that in 2024. And ever since then, we air twice a week, once on Tuesdays, the other on Fridays. And we record in person, virtually. We have guests. We've had some NFL folks, some MLB folks, some nationally recognized media personalities. Going to be talking about our game of the week, the Tennessee Volunteers taking on the Georgia Bulldogs,
Yeah.
which is going to be a fun one. Cannot wait for that.
You know, we're here talking all about Chatted Up Sports. You mentioned Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah.
I have to give you just a little bit of grief
Okay.
because you and your boys
Yeah.
was 60% of you guys, not even 80% of you guys had faith in my Sooners.
Yeah.
You were the one outlier.
Oh, yeah, man.
Do I need to
Michigan.
be concerned about this working relationship here?
Not at
Do
all.
I have a secret hater?
Nah, I will never, never, never be your secret hater or even hater in the least. Nah, the guys all went Oklahoma, and I had a feeling
And
it would
they
be.
were right.
They were right. They were right. Boomer Sooner. You know, there's a guy I used to work with. His name's Tyler. You know, I wanted to go against him, and then also, you know, just when everybody has a full column of OU, unless it's Tennessee, I'm gonna go the opposite.
Okay.
And I love Bryce. I thought Bryce played a great game. I think Michigan is gonna do well, but you know, we talked about it, but John Material is just way too much.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Yeah. I love it. I had to take that little sidebar.
No, I'm
I felt-
glad.
I felt a little bit of the secret hate over here. But I promise you guys, the show is not going to devolve into just sports talk
No, I
radio.
promise.
You,
I promise.
You got to go to @Chatted Up Sports to
Yeah,
find that.
at Chatted Up Sports is going to be for the sports talk, but for us, you know, we're going to stick in logistics, supply chain, and all things what the truck related here. So.
And last thing about Chatted Up Sports before we let you go is that it's not just about that. It's also the community there. Talk to me a little bit about what you guys do with Corporate Challenge and how that all ties into Freight Alley.
Yeah, so Corporate Challenge, I mean, is a great cause with Night Edie. I mean, they are bringing such an awesome, unique perspective on field days and corporate wellness. You know, seeing a bunch of different companies, whether it was, you know, Unum, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Axle, Steam Logistics, Trident, KCH. I mean, I can keep going, but just bringing all these different companies together to essentially come through and have a fun day full of field day activities. So we're involved there. We emceed the dodgeball event. It was very tame this year, which is great compared to last year, which that's a
What
story.
happened? Well, I was going to say, what happened last year?
Let's just say Freight Alley, some boxing gloves might be needed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a
Okay.
day. That was a day and a half. But
Register for Corporate Challenge.
Yeah.
Some pent up executive anger.
if you
there
got
now.
some anger, definitely you can throw some dodgeballs at your competitors. But no, it's a great time with some great people. Shout out to Michael Edie and all the Night Edie crew as well.
I love it. We have not been able to rally. I've tried to rally a team at FreightWaves to get into Corporate Challenge for the last 2 years. We haven't been able to do it. Maybe my coworkers aren't as athletic as they think that they are. I know that I'm not athletic, but I'm competitive as hell, just like you. So
Oh, yeah.
what I'm lacking athleticism, I'll make up for in competition.
Easily.
And let's just bring it all home. Let's wrap it all up. Talking kind of big picture and what the big future for you looks like here, not just at What the Truck, but with FreightWaves and his Fire Crown as a whole. Part of our big deal here is making a platform, like I said, for everybody, but also using our power to uplift the voices and the topics in the freight industry. We cover everything. We cover cold chain, we cover brokerage, we cover the trucking, enterprise trucking space, the small fleets. You hear from Adam Wingfield, who's talking to the owner operators. Where else do you see yourself fitting in the FreightWaves ecosystem? And what can we expect to see from you outside of What the Truck?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to learn. I mean, I think that for me, it's like, yes, my background is brokerage, but, you know, to my points earlier, like, I just want to come in and be myself and learn and go into these different aspects, right? And go into the different, you know, umbrellas of Freight Waves. And, you know, for F3, again, we're plugging it like crazy. Please come out and see us and meet me. I'm going to be everywhere during F3. And I just want to, you know, make as many connections as possible and be able just to, you know, shake hands and just amplify voices to your point.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. We got the different background here. We've got the different aura, as I mentioned. We're in this green era now. What are we doing with the space?
Listen, I appreciate the foundation. That's
Yeah.
actually what the studio that you know, I record at for Chat Up is called the Foundation. But this This might have to go. This might not be me.
We got to make it Malcolm's living room.
We got to shake this up.
So, all right, all right. Not quite the Monopoly board. This desk is a little heavy, but we're gonna have some big time changes here, and we're gonna continue to shake some things up. So, we appreciate you guys sticking with us. I'm so thrilled to have you here, Malcolm. Where do people go to find you?
They go to, I mean, literally everywhere. At underscore Malcolm Harris is where you can find me. At literally Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. It's all the same. Gonna throw some updated headshots and stuff in there. It's still been a surreal type of week just to be able to get things kind of branded the way I wanted to. But super thankful to be here. Super thankful to be y'all's new guy here at What the Truck, and it's about to be off and popping. I cannot wait.
There we go. Well, you can find Malcolm now, not me anymore. The reins are officially passed. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, right here on FreightWaves TV. Catch the replays on our YouTube channel. Give us a follow, FreightWaves, on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok. Thank you guys. Don't be a stranger to him. Treat him well. We'll see you guys on Friday for his first live show. Have a good one.